Well, today's topic is this: the misconceptions of alignment. And when you think about our body and the way that it is meant to move authentically, is basically the structure of the whole pelvis, to the lumbar, to the thoracic cervical spine, and of course to your head. And when you think about some of the positions that we're putting our bodies into is actually quite compromising. And we're gonna go over some of those. So a big misconception for me is I'm gonna really strengthen my core, I'm gonna train my core by lying on the floor and lifting my head. Well, let's take that thought process, if you will, create a conscious movement for a subconscious result. So in other words, when I'm standing sideways, if I said, all right, let's use the Pilates 100 as an example. Joseph Pilates knew what he knew, well over 50 years ago, but our society's changed. We spend a lot of time sitting over computers. So what I want you to think about doing is stand in your natural neutral alignment of your spine, okay? And like do some movements, do some stretches, bending, moving, whatever the case may be. And it feels good. And it feels good to have your head sitting where it's supposed to sit. Now, I want you to imagine you're lying on your back, and I want you to flatten out your back. So that means you're going to have to kind of tuck the pelvis, right? Bring your arms in front of you, and now jump your head forward. And I'd like you to think of staying in this position for at least 2 minutes. Your neck would be killing you. So why are we doing these exercises on the ground? So by taking a supine position and doing it this way, we're still putting exponential stress on our cervical spine. And to be pumping our arms like this, I can't even begin to tell you how many people say, my neck is killing me after a Pilates mat class. And that exercise, quite honestly, I'm not a fan of. And again, when we're lying on our backs, doing all this flexion, we're overusing our hip flexors and underutilizing the authenticity of what our core is meant to do. So if you can get away from thinking that, oh, to strengthen my core means I have to suck everything in, et cetera, think about every time, for example, you reach down to pick something up, what engages? Your core does, your whole core body does. If we can start to think globally versus locally, then we start to create some magic in our bodies. So the same holds true, for example, again, in training posture, training being in a good upright position. For example, I'm just going to use my springboard as an example here. So if I'm that person that's sitting over a computer all day long, and I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate that. I got a flat back, I've got a forward head lean, and now you tell me to squeeze my shoulder blades together and now row. This is what I'm going to look like. And I see this in class all the time. People who are locked up, especially in their thoracic spine, are going to have a hard time moving. So we have to say, what position can I put you in that is going to help you become more successful? Well, let's think of it this way. Let's say, I'm on a rowing machine, or again, I've got springs. Doesn't matter. It's all formality. Let's drop one down. And let's think about taking our strap in one hand. Mine's going to be my left, and I'm going to go into hip extension. Actually, I'll do the right so you can see. So I'm in hip extension on the right. So what this does is it just freed up my thoracic spine to move. So when you start to add rotation, so think of it this way: I'm in extension of my spine, and now I'm rotating. Now, it doesn't have to be a big movement, but as we start to pull, essentially with our right hand, we're creating relative cervical rotation to our left. So it would be similar to if I were turning my head to the left versus moving my upper body around my neck versus my neck around my upper body. So if I'm that person that I'm a trainer, that I'm working with somebody who sits at a desk all day long, I need to start freeing up that back and getting my students to Feel how good it really feels to move here and do rotation, looking either over the shoulder or straight ahead, and what it feels like to open up the hips. So once again, alignment, alignment, alignment. So pulling the shoulder blades together, one in life, do you ever walk around like this? Now I'm completely locked up. Same thing when trainers say squeeze your glutes. Again, a cue that does not allow for function, and it's going to create misalignment in the body. Same thing, bar classes, let's be up on our toes for, an endless period of time, shortening the calf, shortening the fascia of the foot, and now all of a sudden I have a hard time hiking and doing things that I want to do. So think about what it is you like to do. For example, if you're a paddleboarder, and I've talked about this many times, getting on a Bosu, or even just shifting side to side on a yoga mat, a soft yoga mat, my feet are adapting laterally, right? So if you think about the movement of a paddleboard, it is a lateral movement, not a whole lot of front and back movement, depending on which way you're going into the waves. But for the most part, as you paddle, the waves are going to be to the side of you as well as front and back. But at the end of the day, a paddleboard is going to move like this. And the reason I bring up paddleboarding so much is due to the fact that so many people enjoy it. Same as pickleball. So go back to that. Really imagine you're doing the 100. Now get in that position and try to hit a ball. You're going to be very unsuccessful, I guarantee it. But yet, if you find yourself in your natural position, and now when you go to hit the ball, you're going to have more authenticity in the biomechanics of your body. We are not designed to lock down, to tuck, to tighten, to squeeze, etc., especially if we think about the parts of our body that need to be mobile, or they need to be stable. My foot needs to have stability to it so that my ankle actually can be mobile and absorb the forces that are coming at it. So my knee is stable, right? And then we look at our hips. They move frontal plane, they move sagittal plane, they move transverse plane. Now go ahead and lock your butt up, squeeze your butt, and try to move in the frontal plane. Where you're going to get there, you're going to get there through your upper back, but you've locked down your hips. Same thing, lumbar spine wants a little bit of stability. Doesn't mean we squeeze our glutes. Upper back goes, please give me some mobility, while our scapula sits on our shoulders, and our shoulders are saying, or our arms are saying, let's create some mobility here. So once again, we have to look at what are the exercises that we're recommending to our clients, or we're doing ourselves because we're seeing on YouTube, and we're not really sure what we should be feeling. So I challenge you to, when you are doing movements, what am I doing this for? Forget what somebody, just challenge yourself, challenge your trainer and say, why am I supposed to be feeling it this way? And especially all these supine exercises, lifting the legs, kicking the legs, bringing the arms forward. If you want a good, strong core, learn to breathe. Learn to hold yourself upright. Learn to feel things. Start to learn to feel as though you're growing taller. And at the end of the day, this is going to give you a less pain in your body, and it's going to give you better posture. Again, so many times, there's so much on social media right now that I want to pull my hair out. Anytime I hear squeeze your booty or fry your booty or your muffin tops or whatever, it's just like, we have to be happy with who we are, the body that we're in, no matter what age you are, and just be able to feel the luxury of how your body was meant to move. I hope this gives you some idea on alignment misconceptions. And once again, feel yourself growing taller. The minute you do grow tall, you feel everything engage. You slouch and you're gonna feel the compression on your joints. So just imagine this, that every time you start to lift and feel, you're creating that separation, which is diminishing the compression on your joints. I hope this helps, and I hope you're having a great summer. This is Leslie, I'm your core companion.